The crimson sky of Kepler 442 hung heavy with clouds of sulfuric acid, casting an eerie glow across the research outpost's reinforced titanium walls. Dr. Maya Venkatesh stood in the observation deck, her dark eyes fixed on the environmental readout that had been flashing warnings for the past 3 hours. Outside, the atmosphere registered at 340 degrees Celsius, with atmospheric pressure equivalent to being 900 meters underwater on Earth. The air itself was a toxic cocktail of chlorine gas, hydrogen sulfide, and trace amounts of phosphine that would dissolve human lung tissue in approximately 4.7 seconds. And yet, somehow, impossibly, William Chen had just walked out of Airlock 7 wearing cargo shorts and a faded university t-shirt. "This is impossible," Maya whispered, her fingers trembling as they hovered over the emergency protocols panel. She'd been the chief xenobiologist on this expedition for 2 years, and in that time, she'd witnessed 3 colleagues die from exposure incidents, all of them wearing full hazmat suits with triple redundancy life support systems. The longest anyone had survived outside without protection was 8 seconds, and that poor soul had been nothing more than a charred skeleton when they'd retrieved the body. Through the reinforced observation window, she watched William crouch down near a sulfur vent, apparently examining the crystalline formations with the casual interest of someone inspecting flowers in a garden. His sandy hair ruffled in the acidic wind. He appeared to be smiling. "Maya, what the hell is happening?" Commander Rodriguez's voice crackled through her comm unit. "Sensors are showing a human biosignature outside the compound. Please tell me it's a malfunction." "I wish I could, Commander." Maya's scientific mind raced through possibilities, each more improbable than the last. "It's William. He's been out there for 4 minutes and 23 seconds. No suit, no breathing apparatus. He's..." She paused, struggling to process what her eyes were telling her. "He's collecting samples." The observation deck door hissed open, and Rodriguez strode in, her face a mask of barely controlled panic. Behind her, the rest of the 12-person research team filed in, their expressions ranging from disbelief to terror. "How is this possible?" Rodriguez demanded. "Run every diagnostic. This has to be a sensor error, a holographic projection, something." "All systems are functioning normally," Maya interrupted, her voice steady despite the hammering of her heart. "That's really him. That's really William Chen, and he's really surviving in conditions that should have killed him instantly." Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the team's physicist, pushed forward. Could he have developed some kind of protective field, personal shielding technology? Maya shook her head. "Not possible. We detect the energy signature. Besides, look at him. The wind is moving his clothing. There's no barrier between his skin and the atmosphere." William stood up, stretched as if working out a mild kink in his back, and began walking toward a ridge approximately 300 meters from the outpost. His gait was unhurried, exploratory. He paused occasionally to pick up rock samples or peer at the strange, twisted formations of metallic ore that dotted the landscape. "He's been acting strange for weeks," murmured Dr. James Okonkwo, the mission's medical officer. "Remember, he kept requesting extra time in the biolab, said he was running personal experiments on extremophile adaptation." Maya's mind clicked into place. The bacterial cultures. He was working with organisms from the thermal vents near the compound. He said he was studying their protein structures. She turned to Okonkwo, her eyes wide. "James, pull up William's medical files, all of them, especially the last month." As Okonkwo worked at the console, Maya felt a cold dread settling in her stomach. William had been brilliant when he joined the expedition, a geneticist specializing in adaptive evolution. But brilliant people sometimes made brilliant mistakes or brilliant choices that crossed ethical boundaries. "Found something," Okonkwo said, his voice tight. "His cellular metabolic rate has increased by 340% over the past 3 weeks. I flagged it as a sensor error because it seemed impossible. His blood work shows proteins I've never seen before, complex chains that don't match any known human genetic sequences. He modified himself, Maya breathed. He integrated the extremophile genetics into his own DNA. The room fell silent except for the steady beep of monitoring equipment. On the screen, William's vital signs displayed in impossible numbers. Core temperature holding steady at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit despite the external heat. Oxygen saturation at 97% despite breathing an atmosphere devoid of oxygen. Cellular integrity at 100% despite exposure to corrosive chemicals. "That's not genetic modification," Rodriguez said quietly. "That's transformation. That's turning yourself into something that's no longer human." As if hearing her words, William turned toward the observation deck. Even from this distance, Maya could see his eyes. They glowed with an amber luminescence that definitely hadn't been there before. He raised a hand in a casual wave, the gesture so achingly normal that it sent shivers down her spine. Her comm unit chirped. William's voice came through, clear and undistorted despite the atmospheric interference that usually made external communications nearly impossible. "Hey Maya, I know this looks weird, but I need you to trust me. I've made a breakthrough, something that could change everything about human space exploration. Can you come to Airlock 7? I need to show you something." Every protocol in her body screamed not to trust this, not to engage. But Maya had known William for 5 years before this mission. They'd studied together, published papers together, shared dreams about pushing the boundaries of what humanity could achieve among the stars. "Stay where you are," she said into the comm. "I'm bringing a containment team." "Maya, I'm not contaminated. I'm evolved. There's a difference." She made her way to Airlock 7, flanked by Rodriguez and 2 security officers in full tactical gear. Through the airlock window, William stood patiently, his arms spread in a non-threatening gesture. Up close, the changes were more apparent. His skin had a faint iridescent quality, like oil on water, and those amber eyes seemed to see through her. "The samples I collected are crucial," William said, his voice calm. "There's a native organism in the sulfur vents, something that's been here for millions of years, perfectly adapted to this hell. Its genetic code is compatible with human DNA in ways we never imagined. I didn't just modify myself, Maya. I created a pathway for humanity to spread across worlds we thought were forever uninhabitable." "At what cost?" Maya demanded. "You're not human anymore, William. What did you sacrifice to become, whatever you are now?" William's expression softened. "I'm still me. I still remember every conversation we've had, every joke, every debate about the ethics of terraforming. But now I can walk on worlds without changing them to suit us. We can be the adapters, not the conquerors." Through the observation window, Kepler 442b's brutal landscape stretched to the horizon, a world of beauty and horror that had already claimed 3 lives. Maya thought about the hundreds of exoplanets humanity had discovered, most of them hostile to human life. She thought about the cost of terraforming, the centuries it would take, the resources required. And she thought about the man standing before her, transformed but recognizable, offering a future that terrified and exhilarated her in equal measure. "You can't come back inside," Rodriguez said firmly. "Not until we understand what you've become, not until we can guarantee the safety of the crew." William nodded slowly. "I understand, but Maya, I need you to analyze these samples. I need you to see what I've seen. The universe is bigger than we imagined, and maybe, just maybe, we need to be bigger too." As Maya watched him walk back into the toxic wilderness, samples secured in a collection pouch that should have dissolved but somehow remained intact, she wondered if she was witnessing humanity's next great leap forward or the beginning of its end. The answer, she suspected, would depend on choices yet to be made.